And good evening. This is Tim Young, host of Chewy's Road to Enlightenment. And this evening, we are uh, very fortunate to have uh, a guest on. His name is James Reginald Hopkins III. And I'd like to welcome you to the show, James.
Thank you so much, Tim. It is an honor being on here. Truly, you already know. We already family already. We never even met in person. We already family.
I know it's funny. You and your uncle and I think I'll share that same energy.
And it's all about the energy. We talked about it before. Everybody, if you're in the ether, the Ethereum energy is there. You don't have to know someone to know them. You know what I'm saying? You know how you meet people, and it's like you have so much in common with them, and y'all not even from the same town. Y'all not from the same country. It's just that's the laws of nature. That's the laws of humanity, and all of that other good stuff.
It's the universe. The universe is connecting people. And it's crazy, and I talk about this a lot. Um, you know, it being positive and having that positive energy and putting that out attracts positive people, and I'm fortunate enough that I've been able to attract some super positive people, and and that's how this talk came to be. Was through another positive person. So I'd like to start off with tell me where you were born, where you're from.
Okay, that's easy. I'm from Philly, born and raised. Um, I'm born in the Germantown section, actually, like Germantown Hospital, 1990, the best year. I'm West of Lane, uptown area, raised in. So kind of that uptown area, I would say. I'm pure uptown, but I went to school at Creative Performing Arts High School in South Philly. So I like to rep South Philly a little bit too, because a good chunk of my growing up was spent there, having a good time with a lot of my good friends. And it's just been a lot of talented people from South Philly, but I'm a uptown boy. I think who else is from uptown? Bilal. I don't know if you know of the singer Bilal. He's from the Germantown area.
Okay,
It's a few of us. I think Billy Preston is from this area. So we got it on lock. Uptown got it on lock.
you guys got some talent up there. It's funny that certain areas of certain cities, towns seem to attract people with artistic minds, and when everybody kind of get together and connect, it's that's when you start making magic. Artistically.
And Philly got some good food. Is it the water? Is because it's kind of close to a little. I feel like anyone who's close to rivers, they got a little bit more juice and everything. Look at Louisiana and all of that. Like it could be that. It's because even New York, they got a lot of different great, you know, cultural and artistic things. I feel like when you're near the water, it's just something different.
Yeah,
I'm not saying people who are more inland don't have as much talent, but let's keep it a being. Not too many people are famous from North Dakota.
right. This is true. No, the water. There's a certain energy. I think that I we're going up to the ocean, up to New Hampshire next week on vacation, and when I'm there, it's like that's my zen. That's my happy place. That's where I can get centered and recharge myself. And there's just something about water, and I think it's a calming thing, and maybe because it's so calming, it opens up with artists. I think it helps open up that creative avenue.
Most artists, I mean, we talking about like even in we can talk about Chopin, right? The great composer Chopin. When he got sick from, you know, back in those days, it was tuberculosis was the big thing killing everybody. But he got sick. He went towards the water. Water is a calming, is a soothing. Um, Even the motion of water. can soothe you. And honestly, you need water for crops to grow. So that we need water in general as human beings because we're crops too. We all need to grow. We
That's
all need
right.
to, learn from one another and not make the same mistakes. I had a teacher, Miss Darina Morrow, at the Creative Performing Arts High School. She always say, "I don't mind you guys making a mistake, but don't make the same one."
Right. Yeah, learn from your mistakes.
Yes.
And I know that's hard too. As I know, as a growing up as a kid, your parents are trying to tell you, or maybe an auntie or an uncle is trying to tell you, you know, this, don't do that, and you're like, yeah, whatever. I'm gonna do whatever I want, and then you're like, oh yeah, that's why they told me not to do that. They didn't want to see you fail or make that mistake, but human nature, I guess. I think there's a bit of a where you want to go against the grain, be a little bit anti-authority.
Oh, I was the king of anti-authority. I thought because I wanted to be a musician and a singer that I didn't have to be good in any other academic. So I did not care about math and all those other things because I had A's in music and all those and languages I love. But I didn't care about no academics. I'm like, I'm about to go on Broadway or I'm about to get a record deal and all these things. And I said, maybe I should have listened a little bit more. I could have been someone's, maybe a lawyer and a singer on the side at this point. But you learn and you see that, yeah, I should have done these things. But once again, the mistake us humans make is we try to, how do you say, regurgitate what we've done. You can't regret, it's already done. So the only thing you can do is just try to learn from it. I think that every mistake is a learning experience. You know how you touch the grill at a hot grill and you ain't know it was really hot. It don't look like it's hot, but then you touch it, it's real hot. It's real hot.
Oh yeah.
I burn myself. That's the effect us humans have. I feel like we're kind of okay. I got to burn myself first, then now I understand.
Yeah,
Which sometimes it's too late, but if it's not, then take that as a learning experience and keep it pushing.
that's
Don't
right.
let no one say to you, "Well, you should have done it this way, or you should have did it this." That is perhaps correct, but at this point, it's not serving you any. It's not. It's a disservice. That type of advice, and it is a service.
No, I totally agree. And I think a lot of those learning those key learning points in life, I call them, a defining moment. You have a point in your life where you just, you have a defining moment. It changes your course of direction, and that's making the mistake or not making the mistake. It could be a very, very big mistake, and I find that I refer to those moments in time as like a defining moment for someone. So that's my little hippie take on that.
I think that's the best take of it all, and we need to all be a little bit more like hippies. I think they were onto something in the '70s. I mean, it's more of a we all meet each other at a how do you say the same level.
Right.
Everyone is the same level.
Yep.
Everyone deserves respect. Everyone deserves um, how do you say to be treated as if we were all kings and queens of some sort, right?
That's right.
So if we all, extend that type of energy to each other, it's honestly that was no wars no more. We'll have disagreements because you're going to have disagreements with even family.
Oh,
So
sure.
for people to say that we're just going to be lolly 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 la, I don't think that's realistic. But as adults, if you cannot come to a resolution without um, chaos and all that stuff, and there's something wrong. You have to look a little bit deeper in yourself
Sure.
because it needs to be able to be negated without this whole, fire and brimstone. We gotta go to war. We gotta do all this other extra stuff. We gotta do all of this. Let's sit back and have if you don't drink beer, have some wine. I don't know, have something. Calm you down. Have your weed, whatever calms you down.
That's right.
And let's talk about this because at the end of the day, everyone will lose if we all lose. Everyone will lose. It's not an isolated situation. This world is finite. So So eventually, all the resources are going to be completely depleted. Maybe
Hmm.
not in this hundred, in these hundreds of years coming up. Maybe 1,000, maybe 2,000, maybe 5,000. But eventually, everything that begins must come to an end.
That's right.
And I feel like us as humans need to slow it down. Let's slow it down.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I don't think enough people taking the time or putting the energy in and going out and you know being nice to one another. It's so much easier, and you feel so much better when you're nice to a person and you're kind. And to hate someone or just to be a miserable person, it takes so much more energy out of your day, and then you feel miserable when you go home, when you're pissed off at some. It's like, and like you, a point I want to touch on is, yeah, people just need to talk it out more. Like, we're not going to all agree, we're not going to all disagree on things, but you just got to talk it out, and yeah, things would be a lot better. And I want to go on to, I think greed is the biggest driving factor, for all those negative emotions when it comes to, with wars, with all this shit that's going on. It's like there's always somebody looking for a power play. Like, I got to make my gonna make my money, gonna make money, and
Yes.
it's usually at the expense of, us, the blue collar, the working class, the lower class. You
There we
know,
go.
we're the ones that are paying for it, and at some point, I hope people start waking up and kind of tuning into that. Like, the division shit is like, it's you know it's they're controlling chaos when they divide people. We can control one side, this side can control another side. It's like, what, it's the same bird. We're all part of this. It's two different wings. It's the same bird. It's the same vessel. It's we're all in this together. And you know
I just was telling my uncle that and a lot of people might not like to hear when I say this. I'm talking about relativity, and everything in life is about relativity and proximities and all of these things, right? So if I was making $700,000 and now I'm making $450,000, that is a hurt piece for someone like that. Yes, for someone who makes 70,000, I'm making now 50,000. That's a hurt piece too. So I talk to people who are in that kind of, that how what do we call it, 1%ers, or if you will, or whatever. I don't have a lot of money, so I don't know what to call it.
yeah.
But,
Not us.
not us, right? And they're kind of frustrated systems that goes on too, and because everyone at this point understands, oh shit, we all losing money now.
Right.
So I feel what I feel what he was talking about too. Kind of, it's like you don't know the pain until you feel the pain.
Exactly.
And now people are feeling it a little bit. Even people who live in places like Ambler, nice out. Like I do Amazon. You know, some people don't know that I do Amazon. I've done bus driving. I've done everything. I am a representative of blue collar to the maximum. I've done almost every blue collar job besides policing someone and firefighter. But everything else, I've been in almost every other work sector.
And
And I deliver to some of these places, and they feel the same way as anyone else feels. It's like they suffer too. The inner city is suffering. Everyone's suffering because of people like, I'm not scared to say it, people like Jeff Bezos and those higher powers that be,
yep.
who are the higher conglomerates. I mean, we talk about people who wake up and they shit out $50 million,
I know.
and they want you looking for it. That's a different, you know, touche to him to be able to build that. I ain't no hater. Okay, you got what you got. I love, but like you said, at the expense of who? At
Exactly.
the expense of who? Anytime you're a billionaire, there's many people that is at the expense of. And that's the reality of America, is we do everything at the expense of someone until when we feel the heat, now we want to be all over. Yeah, now you see what we saying. All right, it's cool. Let's all see how we can fix this and make it more of an even playing field. You know, but it's not an even playing field in America, and why would it be? It may never be. It may not. Are people ready for that reality that it may not ever be an even playing field? You know, us as society have to be able to deal with something like that. You know, some people can't. People like me, you can't. We do it.
Yeah, and that's just it. I think and when you come to the reality, and I'm of I'm blue collar too, and going getting up, going to work, busting your ass, and putting food on the table. There's something to be said about that. You feel good at the end of the day. Not that I don't inspire to have more and be more, but at the end of the day, when you go out and you drive a truck or an excavator or a machine or you're a plumber, electrician, whatever, like you're putting in 8 hours worth of work or 10 hours or 12 hours or whatever it may be. You're you're using your body, and you're getting beat up, and again, us blue collar workers, we always and I'm grateful for jobs, the different places I've worked, and I'm grateful, and I've been able to put food for my family and a roof over their head, and make a good living at it. But it's always, unless you're self-employed, and you're doing your own thing, you're kind of always working for someone else to make them more. You're going to make money, but they're going to make more money. That's just the way it's supposed. Well, I don't know if it's supposed to work. I like trade. I think trade off, bartering. If I and I don't know if we'll ever get there because we have the dollar or gold, or there's some type of precious commodity, other than, like, hey, I'll come over your house. I'm a plumber. I'll come over your house and I'll do your plumbing. Okay. Oh, you're an electrician. Okay, cool. You come over my house and you can do my electrical. There's and I know with the tradespeople, there's a lot of that that happens. People, everybody kind of helps each other and works stuff out like that. And I think there just needs to be more of that. And
Well, you talking about the old school barter system? I mean, that used to be a thing. I
yes,
mean, let's think about it. You are the commodity. You
yes,
are the resource. You are the energy. You are the power. You're offering a service right now to me. You're allowing me on your platform to be able to speak. Otherwise, no one has ever asked me or asked to interview me. No one has. I mean, I've had little things back in high school where I've been in newspaper because I was in musicals and stuff like that, and newspaper stuff. But for someone to sit back and say, "Oh, I want to see what this dude is about, my new brother, my new friend is about," that's you are a service.
I appreciate that.
It's saying that us as humans, we hold our services and we hold them like they're like something that you don't want to take. What is for you is for you. What you do best, no one can take it from you. And us as a society get over it. I'm gonna keep it. Other societies and economies are not like this. Germans are not like this. America has a kind of I have to be the millionaire and I have to be the biggest dog. If I'm the biggest dog, I mean, other places have their stuff, but we're a little bit more. Oh no, it ain't no even playing field here.
And I wonder if that's something that, if that's because that was instilled upon us, the way that know uh, uh, the country, or people think that they're perceived, they have to act a certain way, or you know and another thing too I like to touch on is everybody's always trying to outdo each other, which to me is it's fucking toxic when you operate like that. Like like I want to always succeed, and I want to do the best I can do, and that's who you should be competing with, is yourself.
Yes,
Not competing against other people. musicians competing against each other, or and I understand sports, that's a totally different thing, but you're still competing against yourself when whether you're going up to bat, or you're going to hit a 3 point, or you're going to take a shot on a goal, playing hockey, or making that crazy throw in football, and making sure there's a receiver. It's on you. So, and I don't think a lot of people, I don't know, I don't think a lot of people think like that. Maybe professional athletes do, but I don't think, a lot of blue collar people um, operate like that.
I think it's because we all operate on a. All right, let's okay. Even Broadway, they operate on a scale, right? We all know Broadway starting off. I forgot. I think they just had a new deal. So Broadway, do not get me. Actors Equity Association, do not get me. Do not quote me anymore. But I know they're over. I think they're over 1,900. I got some friends on Broadway, so they probably gonna message me and tell me anything. I've never had a Broadway deal, but I will tell you that that's knowing what someone else makes because you starting off is different mindset than me being a lobbyist. It's a different mindset than me being a banker. It's a different mindset because those type of jobs, there is no cap. But for the jobs we have, there is okay, you're going to start off making this,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So like, I have a test coming up for 7, right? That we all know what if I get. I'm not going to say what position it is, but say whatever position it is. If it starts off at what $26, $22 an hour, everyone coming in at entry level is going to get that, no
Yep.
matter what your experience.
Yep. And
So us having that, I think, is the kind of okay. We don't have no curtain over our shit.
right.
No curtain.
Yeah, it's out in the
Like,
open.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I said it's out in the open. Everybody knows everybody's business when it comes to stuff like that.
And that's the problem. I feel like it should be a little bit more discreet. There's nothing wrong with you telling someone this might be what you range between
Right.
versus you're going to be making this. Because say if I do have 2 years more experience than this person than me, say I'm a driver and I've had my CDL, like I have a CDL, and I had my CDL for 5 years versus someone who had it for 25 years. I'm going to bow down to the master. The master is 25 years. I'm pretty sure he has more experience than me.
Yeah.
I love both. It doesn't matter how brilliant I am. I am very brilliant at a lot of anything I do. I'm brilliant. I'm always in the top 10%. Always. Anything I do. That's not arrogance. That's my truth.
And I think that,
I don't like to have anything I do.
man, you just hit the nail on the head. Half-assing, you don't want to half-ass it, and that's something I think a lot of kids growing up these days are lacking. They're not. There's no. I don't know if it's not there's not a drive, but they're always looking for that easy, quick, not putting in the work, not in order to succeed, you have to bust your ass. You have to get out there, you have to hit the pavement. You got to go out and you got to do what you got to do. And I don't think a lot of people now want to do that. They're always looking for the shortcut or that quick edge, to get ahead. So, um
And I always call my man to see you gonna have us on this gonna be a 5 minute hour because I'm like it's almost as if the more I guess the more intelligent we get with the computers and all this stuff like the calculator once the calculator came everyone could do math now but before they were doing most of those procedures in their head
I know it.
right
I know I feel we're kind of getting a little dumbed down with some of this tech.
you think just a little I think you've been so kind to us
Yeah, well,
thank you for that
yeah, I've tried to be good, and it's funny because when it comes to cell phones, like before I had a cell phone, 20, how long you know, phones have been made affordable for the last 20 something years. And I think I got my first cell phone, it was like 99, maybe 98, somewhere around there. Up until then, if somebody told me their phone number, I would have it put to memory. And I that was just one thing I could do. I remember phone numbers. And now you have a cell phone. I couldn't tell you anybody's cell phone numbers because it's like, oh, I'm just going to share your contact. Okay. And then you slide over, you hit, oh yeah, here's his name, here's the contact, without even looking at the actual number, and you're just hitting its button. Just hit that button, and you think about it, everything. Go online, hit that button. Go online, go to Amazon, hit that button. Oh, you want to order food? DoorDash, hit that button. Hit that button. It's the easy button. Hit that easy button. Hit that easy button. I just it kind of it scares me because I think it's taking a small part of our humanity away. We're losing. We're definitely. And I my kids are pretty good. I got four kids, and they range from 18 to 23, and yeah, my oldest just graduated college. She's probably listening. Yeah, she's yeah, she's like her mom, and and like me as well. We strive for excellence in whatever we do. We want it to be good. We want it to be right. And she's the same way. All my kids are in their own way like that. They have their a niche in certain things. Um, I got two girls, two boys, and I will say the boys are a little bit more lax when it comes to that kind. With I'm not going to say they don't strive for excellence because they operate different from the girls. My middle. Yes, yes, yeah, because yeah, it will just put it off for a day or 2 days or 10 minutes or 15 minutes, and it's yeah, man. If we just, I find myself when I find myself procrastinating, I kind of start to get pissed off at myself because I know I have a job, I know I have to do it, but when you procrastinate, I feel like maybe there's a little self doubt or whatever, and I think it's an insecurity thing. Or it's just sometimes it's just being completely lazy, and you just don't want to do anything. You're like, yeah, I'll get to it tomorrow, or I'll take care of it the next day. But yeah, that's definitely a man thing. Uh,
That's a man thing. Women are expedient. They're expeditious. They're very much. They can anticipate. They're about the. They know the outcome. Oh, we know how this one goes. This one goes. See, we like, all right, let it go. Let's see how they gonna go.
exactly. You know what I think it is too with women is, every woman has that maternal instinct in them. That nurturing, that caring, the compassion. Not I'm not saying that guys don't, but being able to bear a child, I think, kind of gives you a little bit more of in touch with the universe. I'm going to say that. I'm going to say that more in touch with the universe. Um, so well, hey, so these conversations, I absolutely adore them and love them because I learn so much about people. And one of my biggest problems is I get off topic. And not that we're not on any topic though. So when I do these, I have a kind.
Let's get back to the interview type questions. We're doing a whole
We're doing
a few other shows.
we're doing a we're do this is like a talk we have at a barbecue or something, and and we're getting fucking real. We're passing around a little bit of ganja and getting in tune with with everything. But no, I want to talk to you about. Oh, hold on one second. Are you still there? Oh, I apologize. I
I would say, was I that terrible?
No, yeah, it was not you at all. I apologize for that. Um, what I wanted to ask you, I want to get back to. Just want to talk a little bit more about you. Um,
Yes.
when you grew up in Philly, uh, you were doing growing up. What was your what drew you to music? Because I know you're pretty well accomplished musician. You have a couple of talents under your belt. What sparked that interest in music for you?
Well, to be honest, what I was told, I'll go off what my mother said. She said when LL, well, LL Cool J, everyone knows who he, ladies love Cool James. He's the only James I would say might be better than me. Um, and I don't, and listen, I'm not ashamed to say the king of all kings. Um, I heard that I was rocking back and forth to his song called "Cars Ride By." I don't own the rights to this. "Cars Ride By" and the boom system, and I'm rocking to it and all that. And so, by 2 years old, I was already. We're talking about I'm an infant at that time, and I'm rocking on beat. So it's not like I'm just moving. It's on the beat. It's on the rhythm. It's on the rhythm. So then, I guess by two, I was singing. I remember singing at 3 years old. I can't remember two. I'm not going. I won't even. What they say? No kid. No kid. I can't remember two. But three, I do remember singing. My mom always played. People like Patti LaBelle. Gladys Knight. Tina Marie is my mom's favorite. Singer, and she's a Pisces like my mom. My mom's just like Pisces, as she should, because Tina Marie is a bad girl. And my mom told me that she would listen to Anita Baker when she was pregnant with me a lot, and I guess put the sounds to her stomach. So to be honest, music is not a hobby. It's not a chore. It's not a job. If I were to cut myself right now and red blood came out, it would be music notes. You will see little 16 notes, 30-second notes.
Because it's
You
in
will
you.
see, you know, it's just in me. It's innate. It's then we go with the piano. When it came to that aspect of it, I was always singing, but I think that's around 7, 8, 9 that became something. My sister said it was a commercial that was when I started to play it by ear. But what's interesting with that, I do remember a little guitar we had. I had been around 8 or 9. A guitar. We used to play around. We used to sing the song. What is it? I wanna go outside, go outside, go outside in the rain. We would sing that, and I remember that like young. That's an old song. My big sister Nicole taught me a lot of singing stuff too. Like she made sure I knew the stuff. I always had it to the instrument, but she made sure I knew what to sing too. I had to give my big sister some credit. Um,
Now,
and
does she sing at all, or does she play any
yeah,
instruments?
she sings, but she's not singing. If she were to sing professionally, she would sit everyone down. My sister would be the greatest. Oh my God, she's a comedian. She's a actor, singer, all of it. Nicole would kill all of them. Beyonce, all of them would be scared of my sister. I don't care, and I'll say that.
That's
All
so. It's you all have it in you, and it's a part of you, and that's I think that's passed down. That love, and you know what? I'm going to even get even deeper than that. We could be for all we know, we could be reincarnated as a musician in a past life, or in past lives, we could have been musicians.
Well, you want to know where I'll touch on that a little bit more. I just had an experience. I was making a delivery, and this older woman, and I think Southampton, and she was like, I greet everybody who I deliver to. I'm very nice. She would not think I'm anything. She's like, you know what? She said, oh, what's your name? She started, she told me her name in Hebrew, which is softer because she's Hebrew. She said, I speak, well, she's Israeli, Hebrew. And she taught me all this, and she said, we believe, and she said one word, I don't know the word in Hebrew, but she was talking about reincarnation. She said, what do you think when we leave this earth, we die? She said, our soul is still around, you know. And what happens to your soul? The soul doesn't die, so where does it go?
Yeah.
So maybe we are those. Maybe we have been here, you know.
No, I believe in that. Maybe we're here only for a certain amount of time, and even if our soul doesn't move on to another plane, and it needs to come back, because maybe we're always longing for something, before we can finally move on. If there's whatever, if there's heaven, if there's hell, if there's if we're just energy that gets back into the universe and gets reused. I always think about stuff like that, because I grew up in a Catholic household, and you know
Oh, come on, I love. I know about Catholicism. Listen, I know all about it. Latin, I had to sing it so many times.
Oh, really? Did you grow up going to church when you were a kid?
Oh, definitely, I'm a church boy, but I'm not a Catholic. Listen, you would think I'm a Catholic boy, but what I sing, what I sing, like you ever heard the song? It's talking about the heavenly manna that God bestowed upon his people when they were starving and all that. I'm telling you, I could have been altar boy really easily. I would have known all the songs.
That's awesome, and you have a magnificent voice, by the way. Your voice is magnificent. That's you should be very happy you have such a gift.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Truly,
No,
truly.
it's like growing up in a I'm not anti-church now. I just don't go. I don't really follow any religion any because I feel like there's so much more to just one religion. You know, like I'll take. I don't know. I find myself, kind of like, I'll have like Buddhist philosophy. I'll incorporate that spirituality into my life. Um,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
and just and I don't know if there's a God, but I believe there's something greater than all of us. I feel. Um, I always felt like you gotta. I think you have to have some type of faith in something. And I think it starts with yourself, and then once you can have faith in yourself, then you can have faith in something else, bigger. What's bigger than us? I don't know what that is. But yeah, I kind of always felt that way. But um,
I don't think it's for us to know what it is almost in some ways, right? I think that God is power, and like you said, it's a higher power. That's all. We
that's
know
it.
it ain't us.
That's it. It ain't. It's not us, and there's something more to us. And but so back to you with your music. Um, so here we are with your music. So you started singing at a young age. Started playing. How old were you when you started with the piano?
I would say 8, 9, 7, 8, 9. And the reason why I say 7, 8, 9, I'm not sure because I feel like there was an organ around before there was this keyboard that was around.
Okay.
But my big sister, I wish that she was around. She would have been able to. She would be a great encyclopedia of all of this. She knows it better than me. Sometimes I don't give myself enough credit, and she would say, no, what needs to happen. But that was definitely even up until then, I still wanted to be a heart surgeon and a brain surgeon, and a meteorologist. I just was talented. I went, but I saw a heart surgery on. Remember back in the day where they would actually show you the surgeries on TV?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I forget what the hell was it. Like the OR or something TV or
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And guess what? I almost passed up on one of those videos. I said I guess I may never get a heart surgery or a brain surgery.
Yeah, once you get into the nitty gritty of it, the you get into it, it's like wow, this okay, yeah,
So
that's not for me.
not for me. I said okay, I'm going to be. So actually, I wanted to be a concert pianist. I wanted to go to Curtis Institute of Music. That I really wanted to be really a concert pianist. And to be honest, I wanted to go to Berklee School of Music too at one time, sing jazz, because I love me from Ella Fitzgerald.
Oh,
Ella
nice.
Fitzgerald is my top three singer.
I
Top three.
I need to get into more jazz because I think and I don't ever label myself as this is the only genre. I listen to everything. I'll listen to old blues or I'll listen to rock. I don't like the new country. Today
The new country is hip hop.
it's they got it's just too it's too
It's not
no,
country.
it's
It's
too
got soul in it. It's nothing from the bayou. It's nothing from
no.
the Georgia. Nothing I feel anything southern from. It's all north.
Yeah, it's there's nothing like I don't know. I can't every they're like when they just talk, like oh yeah, going out partying, doing this, doing that. It's like okay, I want to listen to Johnny Cash, and I
Yes.
want to feel it. I want to feel the song,
Yes.
and that's one thing. And I had spoken with a musician last week out of Nashville, um, Ronzo Cartwright. He's a fantastic musician. Hip hop. They do hip hop, metal, rock, hard
Oh,
rock.
I know what you're talking about. They are. I just followed them.
Stone Deep Nashville. Those guys are. Shout out to those guys.
Shout out to those guys who are, and thank you so much, y'all, for following me. I appreciate it. One love.
Yeah, those guys, great people over there. The whole gang. Him and I had that conversation with he grew up in Nashville, and he's like, this isn't like country music anymore. This is just like poppy rock. It's not what it needs to be. Country needs to be a certain thing. My I just came back from New Jersey. I took my boys down to see Metallica down in New Jersey at the MetLife Center.
I didn't know Metallica was here.
Oh my God! Yeah, they played Friday night and they played Sunday night. We were supposed to play for Sunday, had some car failure, and decided to leave early on Saturday. So we only got to stay for one show. But they played almost 2 hours and 40 minutes, I think.
Oh no, Metallica gives you a show. No, not.
Yeah.
They're not like the other one. No,
No.
they like performance. See, some people still like performance, and
It
they'll just come for that check.
and that's as big as they are, and the their new stage show now is unmatched. Like I remember, the first time I saw them was in the mid '90s. Um,
You're a real Metallica fan.
yeah, if I could have, I would have seen them when back in the '80s. But my, I got turned on to them. It was funny. My dad's youngest brother, who was he was very artistic in his own way, very flamboyant. Just a super super good person, super good soul, and he was always up on the new like rock, rap, whatever it was that was out that was maybe a little underground. And he'd always like at for birthdays or Christmas or whatever, he'd give me like tapes. Like here, you got to check out this band. Like I got introduced to Anthrax through him. He's like, here you go, check out this band. Like I got a Metallica Ride the Lightning tape for my birthday one year. He's like, yeah, you got to check out these guys. You know, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I'll check them out. And then you listen to them, and it's like, what the, because I always listened to, like my mom always had older music on, like Beatles or Led Zeppelin, Queen. We love
Come
Queen.
on, Queen. Shout out to Queen. Shout out to Queen. trendsetter in every way. He did things that most people couldn't do. I mean, basically, all of those rock bands did stuff that was just like, well,
Yeah, Freddie Mercury was on another level, on another plane. Like his, there's not a lot of music I don't think that can that I find it like it takes a special musician or song, the way they deliver it to touch you, and Freddie could just he could he could touch your soul, and it would be in like the simplest. It and it looked so effortlessly when he did it. Um, yeah, that whole band, I can't say enough good things about that band because they're all super talented musicians.
like you said too with Metallica, the same thing. I think my uncle, matter of fact, my uncle Dex,
What's up,
he's the
Dex?
reason why I knew about Metallica because I know he loved Marilyn Manson too.
Mm-hmm.
We talking about 90s, like early. I'm talking about I'm a little kid. Okay, I'm a little kid. I'm like what 6 years old around that time when those artists was like that they. Well, Metallica been out before that, but they were still prevalent around that time.
Yeah, it's funny because they're kind of like one of those ageless bands, and
Yes, they never waved off.
no, and I feel like Black Sabbath, Ozzy Osbourne, he's ageless. That music is never going to it's never going to be it's not a fad. Their music defined a generation and a genre, and it's like
Yes.
those musicians are just, to me, just absolutely blow my mind when they get to that level, and just the musicianship and the stage show and the art that they put out. It's just and I'm not saying anything about the lesser known bands, because there's plenty of local musicians and bands out there that are unrecognized,
Oh, come on, let's talk about that. Yes.
that operate.
All the unknown, and everybody who wanted to be famous, you'll be famous, and if you don't ever be famous to yourself. Love yourself first, and then everything else will work.
That's right. And I think, now in the day and age we live in, with social media, with YouTube, with all these, outlets for musicians to get noticed, you know, I find it overwhelming sometimes when I go on, Instagram, or, I go into my YouTube feed and look at videos or, posts or whatever. And it's like there's so many talented young people out there that are performing in their living room, or performing with their friends in a band. And it's like, in our exposure to it, sometimes it's a little bit, it's overstimulating. Like, I don't know how to process it sometimes. Like, I'll hear a new band come out, a young group, and I'll listen to it a little bit, and sometimes you just need to, like, okay, like, there's
I
just
need a break. I need a break.
well, yeah, there's just so much of that, though, which I think the last couple years, I think people got more comfortable and kind of like maybe live more for in the moment and live right now. And if you're going to take a chance on something, go ahead and do it, because you really don't know how long we're here. We don't know if we're ever going to go through the shit show we went through the last couple years, where everything was shut down and we couldn't do anything, and that affected, going to see live shows, and artists and musicians being out there. Everybody was thrown into a tailspin. And I think everybody that went through that, and especially with an artistic mind, finally either said, what, I'm gonna shit or get off the pot type of deal. If I'm going to do that, if I'm going to write that song, if I'm going to play the guitar and play this guitar line and write a guitar song, or, hop on the piano and write a beautiful piece on the piano, or, a drum track or whatever. I think people finally just said, you know what, we're going to do it. And I think maybe that's why we're seeing so much of that with all these artists, is people are just kind of just comfortable in doing it now. And, they don't, I know when I do something musically, I don't care what anybody thinks about it. Like, I'm doing this for me, At the end of the day, that's why I do stuff. It's like I'm doing this to fill.
You know what? I'm gonna say something that might, because I agree with you. I don't think it's the person. I don't think it's the artist's fault. I think it's the people who promote some of these artists that are not up to par.
Oh, absolutely.
It ain't they fault. They don't know that they ain't shit and they whack.
Yep. No, I agree with
No
you.
disrespect. If anybody think I'm talking about them, I can't because I don't know. I never done things anymore. I don't do things like that. But I will say that overall, the musical pocket. Come on, do we really want to play that game with how music used to be?
Um, um,
When you used to have people like Fred Astaire and all them people tap dancing to people like Duke Ellington music
oh
and
my
all
god,
those type of things, and Cole Porter.
I miss that. I
There is I'm sorry, there's timeless music. I don't know if this music, this lyric music is timeless. It might be timeless for the next 15 years.
Yep.
Yeah, but there's been people who died off, and it happens. And I will hope that some of this shit die off.
I no, I know what you're saying. Well, what's funny you say that is last night my wife and I were sitting in the living room and there was really nothing on the TV, and so I hop on Netflix and excuse me, and I threw on We Like White Christmas, Bing Crosby, Danny Kaye. Oh my god! And it's like we can watch that movie, and we were watching it last night, and I looked at her and I said, why can't I said, look at how this movie was made. I said, there's a story. There's multiple love interests. Whether it be women, whether it be dancing, whether it's music, there's like so much going on there. Then you have the stage show that they put on with the dancing, the singing, and then you're also telling a story. Like these guys were. I mean, that is art. That is absolute art. What they were able to do and make movies like that, where you weren't just there to recite lines or make an appearance in a movie. Like, oh, you're going to be singing. Oh, you're going to be dancing also. And if you, you know,
You don't understand the old Hollywood. Remember we talked about old Hollywood?
yes,
Old Hollywood was like Leontine Price will say, who was shout out to Leontine Price, who I think what Leontine is 97. She's one of the greatest opera singers that ever lived. She's African American from Mississippi. She never complained about being from Mississippi. She never let that whole thing hold her down. She'll tell you that to this day. She kept it pushing, and she'll tell you because of Mississippi is why she is who she is. I think she's the most decorated um, opera singer with Grammys.
that's amazing. And
she's 97.
97 years old.
97 Aquarius. Shout out to the Aquarius. I'm not Aquarius. I'm a Leo, but you the Taurus, the bull. But
Yeah.
Aquarius because y'all can sing.
No, that's awesome. No, it's
But yeah, that just shows you those things.
no, it's there's something to be said about the old film, the production, the way they carried themselves. They weren't a I know there's Hollywood and all that, but it's like those old school actors. I feel like they never were. I don't think they ever thought of themselves as being bigger than anybody or bigger than anything. I think it was just that era. Like you used to go out. Like my wife and I were talking. Like her grandparents used to go out to dinner, and she's like, "Yeah, my grandfather would have his suit and tie on. My grandmother would have this long evening dress on, and then they'd go out to dinner." Like I'm like, "Yeah, we need that. We need that now." You think about. I mean, I know I don't. My my attire is usually cargo shorts. Either camouflage or khaki or black, and a music shirt. With a band on it. And if I'm getting dressed, I'll throw on Docker shorts and a set of loafers and maybe a somewhat classy button down. But you think about how they used to. There was just so much class in that era.
Brother, I'm not gonna lie now. I'm not you. I don't throw that on. That's how I'm gonna get you together. I'm gonna send you a package So when you take your wife out next time, you won't be looking like your grandfather.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. I like that.
I promise you, I'm gonna send you a package. I'm not playing. I'm gonna send you a package. I just want you to send me your measurements, and we can get you Denver.
Okay.
Okay?
Oh, I like that.
Going out with the cargo.
No, I like that.
Not all the time. There's nothing wrong with that stuff because I like that. That's my style too. Shout out to cargo pants and the music note shirts. All right.
No, and there and you and too when you get dressed up, you feel good about you know, even though we're blue collar, but when you get dressed up to do something, or you know, whether it's a wedding or a funeral, like you got a little bit more of a pep in. I know I do. Like I got a little bit of a pep in my step, just a little bit something different. Like you know, because you look, you know, you know, and I think that's just us as the male species, you know, because you know we're you know a conquering, you know, it's in our blood that warrior mentality, the you know, yes, the 300, you know, that, and you want to look good and you want to, yeah, there's something to be said about that. But well, I appreciate that, and I look forward to sending you that, because I definitely will send you my measurements.
No, serious. I got a package for you.
No,
That's gonna come. I appreciate you.
I
I definitely gotta show you a thank you for that.
oh, thank you,
Definitely.
very good. So I don't want to get off topic anymore, but this is I. No, we're good. We're good. We're good, because this is,
This not just a regular phone call, right?
yeah, this is well, we're doing real talk, and that's what's the beauty of this podcast too, is you know, it's not just you know, I want to, whoever I'm talking to, I like to engage, and I want to get to know the person. I want to get to know what they're going through, their struggles, their highlights, whatever. And that's what's nice about doing these, you know, doing this is I can do whatever I want. You know, there is no there I don't have a a set plan that I have to go by. I have a blueprint that I know what I want to talk about, but sometimes it just doesn't even get past two questions. It just turns into something else. And that's usually when some of the best conversation happens.
Because we always talk what we said. It's all the ether.
Yes.
It's all ethereum. He'll be like, "What's the ether? You talking boogie boogie? Or you ain't talking nothing." So I'd rather be talking something than nothing.
That's right.
And if what I'm talking is positivity, then why would it even throw your whole thing off anyway? Oh, you don't know who you are, and you haven't found an energy source yet.
Right.
People out there who haven't found an energy source, find yours. It does not have to be anyone else's. It is nothing wrong with you liking what you do and someone else liking what they do. My whole thing with it is, if it doesn't harm anyone, then you're good.
That's right.
If anything you do harm someone, then you might need to rethink it, because that's not what we were paid for. We not the God source. We have God in us, but we're not the God source, meaning the power source. But we have the power in us, but we're not the power source. If we were, then why would we be where we are? If I was the power source, I wouldn't be here. And I'm not saying where I am is bad. I'm just saying, let's not be arrogant as he is. That's when what you said, you don't believe in God. Why would you? There's a power source. Everyone should know it. God means power. That's what I mean.
That was that.
The power source. So who's the power source?
That's deep. I like that. I like that. That what you just said spoke to me. No.
Because it is something that can be spoken to. It's nothing. I mean that. I mean, some people will say to me, "Oh, dang, I didn't know James think like," or Mr. Philly York. By the way, Mr. Philly York. You know, Mr. Philly York thinks like that. Why? Because Mr. Philly York is what that name means. Philly and York. Philly and New York.
Two great cities.
People come through our cities, right? We talked about the war, right? Everybody. We had the Italians came here. We had the Irish. us black people came a couple hundred years before some of us. Some of us. You get where I'm coming from?
Yep. No, I.
All of us have, you know,
We all came from somewhere.
we came somewhere. Come on.
Yes, and that's the beauty of where we are. I love this country. And I love the fact that there are so many people from so many different walks of life,
That's right.
and like the availability of what we can have for food. You know, like I love it. I love Italian food. I love Chinese food. I love traditional Chinese food.
Talk about it.
You know, I love like my wife is she's part Lebanese, and yeah, she's Irish Lebanese.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, there's a mix right there. Um,
If somebody ain't gonna mess with, they gonna leave a knife around you.
oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. There's a crazy side to the Irish Lebanese uh, uh, fans. They're they're great. They're great people, and they're
Shout out to Lebanese, huh?
yes, the food that I was exposed to through her family, her grandmother, her aunt, who's her grandmother and aunt are both passed away, but
Rest in peace. Rest in peace.
yes, but the food the
Power and power.
that's right, the food that I was exposed to through them, traditional Lebanese dishes, and I like I grew up in a Polish French Italian. I think I've got some Irish in there.
Some
Uh,
parle français, some italiano, and cosa, and what else? And what else?
Polish.
Polish. I don't speak. I can speak a little Russian, but I can't speak. I don't know Polish.
Yeah, and I think Russian is pretty. I don't want to say it's
Slavic. Those are
yes.
Slavic languages, but I don't know. Don't. I have a teacher. Oh, shout out to Mr. Charles Graham. Let me tell you about this man. Before I went to Kappa, people don't know. Let's talk. I'm sorry, we all over the place.
No, you're good. You're good.
Musical. Before I went to Greater Performing Arts High School, some people don't know I went to Lincoln High School for a year. So I didn't get into camp because I wasn't that smart. Like I said, people, I never was an academic child. I was always artistic. Everything I'm a performer. I'm a natural performer. I don't need a script. I can just go off the dome for days. And so when it came to me not getting to camp for the first time, I was like, I ain't gonna stop this shit. I'm going to camp. Boys and Men went to Kappa, Jasmine Sullivan went to Kappa, and all that stuff. So Jasmine was there with some of my friends that was there the year before me
Yep.
because they went there freshman year. So I didn't get to attend when she was there. Her presence was definitely still around. Shout out to Jasmine Sullivan and her mother just passed, and shout out to her mother, the Queen Goddess, and may her soul rest in peace. Sonaten is the plural form of sonatas in Deutsch, so in German. Okay? So if you were to say sonatas in German, you would say Sonaten. And so I had an Ortex book of Beethoven Sonaten. And Ortex means it's the same musical things that Beethoven would have expected. So every notation that is original to Beethoven will be in this book.
Okay.
It's an Ortex. Those are very expensive. And I think that's a Barenreiter. The Barenreiter is a German publisher for a lot of Germanic music, usually. And some Austrian, because I think Mozart is more Austrian. I don't know if Mozart is a pure German. I think he's Austrian. So Barenreiter also publishes his music. So I could put that book in front of him. I could turn any page in that book and play it in tempo. Mr. Charles Graham is the greatest man I've ever known. I mean, he lived from Northeast, German, German man. I think German American. I don't think Mr. Graham was raised in Germany at all, but no, he's Polish. Polish, I think.
Okay.
I think it's Polish because that's why we were talking about it because we were talking about Poland. But he would go back and forth and tell me about certain things, and these are the musicians that made me. Why you can see that little video I do now? That's improv, but it's an energy thing, right? Once you what you have in you is you. You don't have to, you be exposed to certain artists. Mr. Graham, oh my gosh, shout out to Mr. Graham to the highest. Point being, he gave me so many musical books. I had a library at one time because of him.
Awesome.
Oh, they don't make it like Mr. Graham no more. And then I went to Kevin, and he always say, "You went to Crappa." You went to Crappa.
Now, is he still teaching? Still teaching?
No, he retired. All these children. That's why everything is a mess. I have to tell Mr. Graham, it's your fault. You had all of us in. Oh, Mr. Graham was old school. I'm talking about old school to a point of if you couldn't handle that, then you wouldn't be able to handle it. It's very much. There's nothing wrong with old school. People say, "Oh, you have to." Yeah, but let's keep it a being. If I'm a sharpener, how long have sharpeners been around? A long time, but they have to keep sharpening things, right? So the sharpener, you a pencil, I got to keep sharpening.
Yep.
We need sharpeners in the world.
Yeah, you got to. Yeah, you got to. You're honing it in. You got to get better. They help you get better.
They help you get better. I like the rude boys. I like the people who tell me I suck.
Well, and that's good because that people that blow smoke up at other people's, whether they're being a kiss ass or just they don't like confrontation or whatever it might be. When somebody asks you for a genuine opinion on something, and you give your genuine opinion, that speaks volumes. Both people. Like when I get a genuine opinion and somebody's like, "Oh man, I don't like that at all." Okay, cool. All right. Well, I know what your opinion is, and I kind of know what I got to do to if I got to maybe I got to take a step back and take a look. And that's what's nice about teachers, mentors. Is they give you that little extra something that you have, but they got to pull it out of you or make you put it out there.
Oh, definitely. Oh, definitely.
Um,
And around that same time, Leah Smith is an artist. I sung background for her. She's like a friend, though. That's a person. Leah Smith. Oh, people don't know that's probably arguably one of the greatest artists in the last 50 to 100 years.
and where is she from?
She's from Philly.
Oh, okay.
She a Logan girl. Leah Smith. Look up Leah Smith. Y'all guys, I don't know who's listening. Leah Smith. She's the reason why I play like how I play. I naturally had, remember I told you I started, but I seen Leah one time at church. Oh, to be honest, we thought of her as the Alicia Keys.
Oh, really?
I'm 33 years old at this point, so
yep.
we talk about me being 11 is how many years ago was that? So I saw Leah Smith, and I'm like, oh, we was on the step team, like a sorority in a fraternity.
Yep.
We had that in our church. So we did that in our church, and we won first place with Delta Sigma Theta. How many times? Yeah, twice. I forgot the years. Shout out to Deltas. And we won that a couple times, but I met Leah like that in church, and I asked her who was her piano teacher, and that's when I started studying formally. And within 6 months, I was advanced on the piano. I started off with the little, Bach inventions, and we had the theory books and all that, but I didn't take. I think I was backed up. I think God or the power source, Allah, you call your God. I think he was trying to. I was molded for that apparatus. So it was just more like the glove I was putting on once I got to Kappa. After that, it was just flames just flying. I was in musicals. I love classical musicals. That's why I said to you earlier, Gene Kelly, because of Singing in the Rain, I was Cosmo Brown, who was Don O'Connor. But I've been in that musical. I know all of that music. I had to learn how to tap dance, and I think 6 weeks. Shout out to Sean Lemire and Ellie on Dance Theater for that. We're talking about over 20 years, not 20 years ago, about 15 years ago.
Okay.
15 plus 17 maybe, 17. Not 20 yet, but 17. But that's, and I'm not gonna lie, I had a kind of dead moment, because the blue collar, it works all the time.
Yep. Yeah, we're not. You don't shut the blue collar. The blue collar doesn't get shut off. That's we're always blue collar workers are always moving. Always we always have a hustle. Not, and I'm not saying in a bad way, but I'm just saying we're always doing something to to provide to maybe get to that next level. That's why we do that. I just because we always want better. I think that's in our nature. It's in our psyche. It's in us. Like we just always want to do better because we're working hard. There's something to be said when you go bust your ass all day. You work hard. At the end of the day, you feel. I feel fulfilled. Like I can. Okay, yeah, I did this today. I feel pretty good. All right, awesome.
How many times have you felt that in your life? Honestly, to the maximum of you, Taurus the Bull.
Like how many times have I felt fulfilled?
Fulfilled.
Well, like to be really fulfilled. When I got married, when I met my wife, I had that feeling. That was probably that was probably one of the first times I felt that, like, when I met my wife. It's funny story. So her and I are the godparents to our godchild, Cameron. And I met my friend Greg through my father. This is a fucking crazy story. My father worked at for Charter, which is I think now Spectrum Cable. He was a plant manager, and yeah. So my dad worked there, and he would get the trucks serviced at this Ford garage. And this guy Greg was a Ford mechanic, and he was into Mustangs. And I was just getting out of high school, and I bought my first Mustang, and I got into cars and drag racing and being an idiot. And Greg fed my passion. Like he taught me how to work on shit, and started working on cars and doing stuff. And so him and his girlfriend are having a baby, and they're like, "Hey, do you want to be the baby's godfather?" And I'm like, "Holy shit!" I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely." And I said, "Well, who's the godmother?" And he's like, "Oh, well, it's Jen's high school or college roommate, Dawn." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." So we meet at the christening, and then we just we hit it off, and we started talking. And then like 2 days later, I went over there and I got her number, and we started hanging out, and we've been together since 1999. Yeah, it was yeah.
That's 24 years.
Yes.
About to be 25. Coming soon.
Yes. Yep.
So what's going on for the 25th? Be something big.
So we.
Okay, that's when I want to send you that package.
Okay, so we had what we got. So we've been married for 23. We just had our 23rd wedding anniversary. 23rd was March 24th. Yep. Thank you. And for kids. Oh, back to the question on fulfillment. Yeah,
you know us. We people
that's right.
talk.
That's yeah. We're just this is what deep conversations about. Um, when I had my kids, each of my kids, I every time we had one, and our last one was he was premature. He was in NICU for like 3 weeks. There was all types of issues, but his awesome pediatrician, whom all the other kids went to, was the one that found. So my son was born without a thyroid gland. Yeah, and we're like, we're at the hospital, and they're running all these tests, and then his pediatrician's like, "Well, I want you to do this, this, and this." And then he checked the levels, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, he's got no, his body's not producing hormones, so we're gonna give him a supplement." And it was like within a few days, it was like he was fine. So now he has to just take a pill every day for the rest of his life that produces an artificial hormone, that his thyroid gland would have produced.
Well,
Um,
guess what? Isn't a higher power great for even that?
yes, like there's so many things that could have gone wrong, and you don't know, and those uncertainties. But once everything was good, that was I felt very like after we had him and everything was good. After a few months, and like that kind of completed me. As
Jesus.
as far as having kids and fulfillment there. Um, I got my plumbing license when I was, like 21, somewhere around there. It was a good, I felt that was a lot of hard work.
You got your what license?
My plumbing license. I'm a
Wow,
plumber.
at 21 years old?
Yeah, I went to a vocational school. Um, and the vocational school, I took plumbing, and I was very fortunate, to be able to go to a school that teaches kids how to do plumbing. And my brother went to the same school. He's an um, we were fortunate to have that, because not a lot of kids have that opportunity, where you can go to school, and if you want to be a carpenter, you can be a carpenter. If you want to be a mechanic, you can be a mechanic. We had a lot of choices, and I looked at the plumbers I knew. A friend of the family, or two friends of the family, were plumbers, and I looked at the houses they had, the vehicles. They were never without. They were never in a bad place, because once you have a professional licensure like that, in the trades, you can go anywhere you want and work. Like I'll never get to the point where I can't go get a plumbing job somewhere. Which is, I'm fortunate, and I don't take that for granted either. Because I know there's plenty of people out there that can do plumbing and maybe don't have a license, but again, you don't have a license, they don't want you. Um, or if, but yeah, that was fulfilling. And then for a long time, I just muddled through, and had some crazy stuff go on in my life. Hit some lows. Nothing super bad, but just life throws you a curveball. I think every 5 to 10 years.
Mm.
You know,
Is
you,
that just did you just give the formula of life?
I,
I
I,
don't think you should have gave that one out so easily, my brother.
yeah,
You're
I've,
supposed to pad that one.
well, and that's from personal experience. It seems like every five, and I don't know if maybe it's a test of your will, maybe it's a test of your spirit to see if you can take it, if you can manage through things. And I say that because those are defining moments for me as well. Though you have a fork in the road. Are you going to go left, or are you going to go right? Okay, I'm going to take this. I'm going to go left. Next time I may go right. I don't know. And I think, you know, as you get older in life, you can learn how to navigate that road, or hit that curveball, or maybe walk when the curveball's thrown, not swing. There's certain times in your life you just got to step back and just let things kind of play out. And I've kind of made peace with that, you know. Um, and the second I started doing that, the smallest things now bring fulfillment to my life. These conversations, like to be able to connect.
Hear what my brother just said? That is the Chewy's way to enlighten, the Chewy's road to enlightenment. That
Yes,
is it. That is the Chewy's road to enlightenment.
it's it the convert the con. I have, and I invest, not monetary wise, but myself into these conversations, and I immerse myself into the conversation because I want the person I'm talking to, and I never say that, at first I called it interview, and it's not an interview, it's a conversation. It's an intimate conversation with somebody, because I want the person I'm talking to know about me, know where I'm coming from, and relate and connect on that level, with me. And that's what I love about these talks is I connect with, here we are, we're talking, you're down in Philly, I'm in Massachusetts, we're like 5 hours away. I talked to people, did interviews in Tennessee. I did 2 interviews with guys in Los Angeles. It's like, how awesome. I mean, thank technology.
Tim, I didn't know that you were in Massachusetts.
Yeah, I'm in Western Mass. I'm
I had no, but you remember I told you that I went to Danvers.
yes, out in the eastern part of the
I know
state.
Danvers.
Yep. There's eastern part of the state is I love it out there, but Western Mass is
I know I drove through there. I only went there to drop off shit there, and I said, "Oh my god, I almost got lost." And the mountainous, it's mountainous.
yes, a lot
It's
of
mountainous in Massachusetts. Y'all think Pennsylvania got some mountains, y'all? Ooh, I drove a truck. Shout out to my uncle again. My uncle got me this gig. Shout out to Troy. Shout out to Troy. My uncle, one of my other uncle's best friends, who gave me the opportunity to drive a 26-foot box truck, which made me want to get my CDL again because I already was getting it, I think, over 10 years ago in a little situation, my urine test was looking like. So that didn't work out, and that's the first time I've ever publicly said it to anyone.
well,
I
that's
don't tell my business, but I had to learn.
oh, you know what, and that's just it. You learned from your mistakes. You make choices, and at the time and who's to say you didn't make the right choice and do what you wanted to do? I mean, that's part of being you and part of being how you want to operate. Like, I smoke pot. I love pot. Marijuana saved me. It helps me manage pain. It helps me manage my mind. I mean, I don't take antidepressants. I was on antidepressants for a while, and I don't like how they feel. They make you feel foggy, you feel real, you feel like plastic. And I think that's kind of how I felt, like plasticky, fake, not real. And I don't like that. I like to feel like me, and cannabis allows me to do that. It allows me to feel like me. It allows me to relax, kind of control, because my mind races 24/7. My mind doesn't stop. Like I'm
Well,
always,
you're the original ADHD child, and you're the reason why I'm like I am, because I'm an ADHD child. ADHD, they call it ADHD. I don't know what they call that shit now. They call it because we don't know what it is. I don't know what they call it. But it's when your mind is going and you don't know what's going on. But it's okay, because people like us, we can rep it right back in, and we do what we do now.
that's right.
You have to have people like us
Yeah.
that can do that.
No, I absolutely agree with you. Yeah, like, and having an artistic mind, having like, you know, having these talks, it opens up, like there's something something to be said, that kind of like opens up inside of you. When when I smoke, something will get triggered. I'll smoke, and sometimes I'll just want to pick up my guitar and just play guitar for an hour or two, and
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and
You're freed. Your instincts have been diminished. All of the things that make you who you are diminished when you are in a good space.
absolutely,
And the government don't want that. And I'm sorry. Now, I'm gonna tell people, I am so blue collar. I will be a cop. People say, "You be a cop? Why would you be a cop?" I don't got no problem with no cop. Cops they do nothing to me. They do shit to other people. Yes, they do, and they do shit that's bad to people. Every cop not bad. Every person not bad. I guess I would become a police officer. It would be no problem for me. You know why? Because then I could change the game.
yep,
You really police motherfuckers.
yeah,
This is how you police somebody.
you know,
It's customer service. Your officer. Your customer service agent. That's
yes,
all that means.
yeah, you're there to help people, and you're there to, try to guide
If an
people.
old lady didn't know where she was at and didn't know where she was living, a police officer should take her ass home.
Absolutely, yeah. I think I've got not that I don't have an issue with cops. I think it's the anti-authority aspect to me. I don't want to be, I don't want to be pulled over on my way to work in the morning if I'm maybe 5 minutes late to a job and I'm doing 75 and a 65. You know, it's not like I'm doing 165. It's
Yeah,
like,
like, come on now. Don't be, that's what
yeah,
I'm saying. Cops got to do better.
yes, yes,
The number, this is what's wrong. They don't live in the communities they police.
this is
They don't
true.
police somebody who don't live in their community.
This is true.
That's the number one problem. That's like me trying to police somebody that lives in Ambler. I don't know what Ambler people do. They got 2 mile drive.
Yeah,
I don't know how they do shit out there. No offense to Ambler. Shout out to Ambler, 2 mile driveways. But it's everything is relativity. Relativity.
that's right. Yeah, the the I don't know where I was going with this, but
That's okay because you be smoking that pot.
I had
That's
a
okay because you smoking that pot.
and
And
I
guess what?
and I had
It
a
relaxes you.
that's right. You feel
It makes you feel good. And everybody who acting like they don't smoke pot that's listening, y'all know you're smoking that shit.
no, it's yeah, it's and so going back to the authority thing. Yeah, I feel like people need to, people can police themselves, without being too much of an overreach, by, government or whatever. But yeah, people can, I think if good people doing good things, I think that's the way to get around all the negative shit that's going on. Um, just I think people need to get back to just being good, being kind to one another. Not having, getting all crazy over, absolutely nothing. And that's kind of how I feel things are nowadays. Is people are just they get crazy about like the nonsense, really, where things that don't matter. I should say. People are, I don't know. It's a
Most things don't matter. Everything that matters to someone is really irrelevant. It's very much irrelevant. Everyone thinks being a billionaire is the winner. It is a winner. But one thing no one don't know is what happens after that. Is it the reincarnation effect? Is it that? We don't know for a fact.
yeah, you're right.
We're
We
not
don't.
there. You can feel that, but you don't know for a fact. We don't know anything for a fact. How about that?
Yeah, there nothing is definite. Nothing is
Nothing. Everything is relative. But what I always was, if it causes harm now, because look at forests. If you leave a parking lot unattended for 20 years, trees and branches will be upon it. Why? Because that's a natural order. Trees, greenery. Cement is a violation, right? That's something that we created as humans. That shit wasn't here before.
yeah,
It's just like energy. Evilness was here, but it was always trying to be. We always trying to conquer evilness. Now people just live in that shit. They like, oh yeah, I'm that. What is going on?
yeah, and people forget that. People forget that they're supposed to be here helping each other and doing good to each other, and like it all starts in the morning. It all starts in the morning when I go get my coffee, when I have the interaction, excuse me, at the coffee shop with the gentleman or the woman giving me the coffee.
They should be blessed because they blessed.
Oh my god, like I need my coffee. Like there's a lot of things I can go without, but I need to have my coffee in the morning, and I try to just have one day now, because the caffeine just it amps me up too much. So, I got to get my coffee in the morning. I get that in me, and then I can go out, and take on the day. But yeah, I need that coffee first. That's the most.
Coffee is kind of a mandatory thing. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I've been on this smoothie thing. I've been trying to be like real green.
Okay.
Everyone is. I think I started the trend. They think they all started. I think I started the vegan trend even though I was born. I made it look.
That's so. How do you try to eat clean? How do you?
I try to eat very clean, like extremely clean. Um, I like mostly. I don't try to eat too much processed food, so I'll cook it all spinach, all the pepper. I love spinach, peppers, spices.
Yes.
Things that is easy to get. If I'm being fancy, I'm gonna get me some impossible meat or something and have a cookout.
Yep.
That's being fancy. I'm not eating it every day though.
It's
So
it's hard.
Joe's is a good friend of mine. Things like that. I mean, it's more of a choice for me because my dad died from cancer and my grandfather. So
Okay.
and it was stomach induced cancer. So
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I've been very particular with my stomach.
That your health. People don't realize that your health is based at your stomach, like your body. Like if you're,
That's the brain of the body.
yeah,
Not the brain, but that's the brain of the body.
if your stomach's unhealthy, then you're gonna have other issues. If you can get your gut in order and be healthy with that, then you'll be okay. But and it's the you think about the era we grew up in, the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. Everything's fast food. Everything's
I
can.
didn't grow up in those 70s. Don't be putting that 70s shit
Uh,
on
uh,
me. Don't be.
well, I grew up in.
That's your shit.
Yeah, that's me. I seven.
See, no separating right now. Separating right now.
You're not that old.
In those 70s, ain't been there yet. I don't even know what that looks like, but I ain't 1990. He's a 70s, 80s, and 90s. All this shit goes. 90s, 2000s is new shit. All right, let's clarify.
All right, so we're good there then. Uh, no, but I mean, even being born in '90, you think about it, how everything is just. That's right. Hey, you know what? It's age is only a number. It doesn't define who we are. It doesn't define us. It's just a number that is it a fictitious thing? Like really, what is a like? You know, you think about it though, like you put an like we had to put an age on us. We're we always like as a human species, I think we always have to like make some type of sense or order out of the chaos, if that makes any sense. We have to put a number on something. Like you're going by a house. I need that number on that house. There's always like we always have to, and I don't know if that's and I feel like today in this day and age, everything is instant gratification with everything. A phone call, a text message, an email, getting online, going on Instagram, going on Facebook, going on Twitter, going on whatever. It's like you're getting likes, you're interacting, you're feeling good. But it's instantaneous. I remember not ever having that. Like the internet thing and social media just like came out of freaking nowhere, exploded. And now I think about like when I didn't have that stuff, and it's like, wow, I would have, this wouldn't have been happening, this conversation, and that's one thing I do love about that. And, being able to connect with people that I would have never been able to connect with. Um,
Well, let's connect back to what you said before. What you said, you either do this or you do that, right? It's that blue and that red pill effect with the matrix.
yes.
What is your reality if you made this decision versus if you made this decision? It always changes because life is binomial. It's a bipolarity with everything in life. It can be this or it can be that. You can get with this or you can get with that. Oh, is that that's Tropical Quest.
That's,
No, it's Tropical Quest.
there's there,
Is that Tropical Quest though? I might be wrong.
I'm not sure, but musicians like that and bands like that, their lyrics and if it is them or it isn't them, but they always make you it's like intellectual music. And I find that too with a lot of hip hop, and there's a lot of rock bands, metal bands out there, country, old country, I'll say, blues musicians, jazz musicians
Oh yes.
that
Oh God, yeah. Country and blues is still not where they need to be in the mainstream, but they make that mainstream money more than the mainstream. They actually are the first artists to go diamond. Actually, is country artists. Diamond, that term comes from in essence, country artists were going diamond way before anyone else. So for rappers and R&B artists to go diamond was something new, but country singers been doing it. Because what people don't know is country sells.
it does.
Country is that shit.
Yeah, you look at there's a lot of people that I don't listen to the new stuff just because it's not my thing. But I listen to, yeah, like the old school country stuff. Like there's substance there. You can sink your teeth into it. There's because a lot of them weren't like great singers. They were storytellers, and they're telling a story. And I love,
Country is.
yes, it's a story. Like enjoy the story, sit down, relax, enjoy the ride. Okay, cool. Um, so speaking about the ride that we're on right here, we have about 20 minutes before we get kicked off.
Okay,
Um,
so we have 20 minutes. So we're
yes.
gonna do what we call a blitz. I never played football, y'all.
Okay, so yeah, we're gonna hit this hard right
It's a
now.
blitz. It's a
All right.
blitz. Blitz me out.
Okay. So let's talk about um
Do art. Why don't you do a main question?
uh I'm gonna ask you this. How did you what turned you on to opera?
This is a great question. Quick. Okay. Anyone who's listening, I will hope that you listen carefully because now you will know who I am with this question. If you were looking to see where I was. Earl Kearney. Earl Kearney in Deutsch. Oh, my Uncle Melvin. Shout out to my Uncle Melvin, who I heard is listening to this, and I love my Uncle Melvin.
Is he North Phillies fan? North Philly Eagles.
He's the Eagles fan. He's the greatest Eagles fan of them all. My Uncle Melvin.
He's in here.
Melvin.
I'm on. I got the page opening, and he's he.
You need to look, tag him in this because he was stationed in Germany at one time, and I was told that after, but I've always loved German. So let's get back to it. Um, I would say, ask the question one more time.
What got you into opera? Like who?
That's the German apparatus.
Okay.
That was German. That was why I mentioned my uncle. The Germans. It was Earl Koenig, which means Earl King. It was a song that you kind of change your voice. There was the King. There was the Der Vater, which means the father. Der Zona, which means the son. And like I said, Earl Koenig, and there was a narrator. I'm not sure how to say narrator in German right now. I don't want to embarrass myself. People are listening. So that's what got me into opera. And shout out to Mr. Graham again. And it was another teacher that was the band teacher at Lincoln High School. I'm not sure of his name right now, but that's why I loved opera. And Earl Koenig, it's an art service. Ooh, let me see. Hold on. It's my piano on. I'll just give you this. I just heard the kitty. I don't want to sing out of tune. As a guitarist, I like this. So that's how the accompaniment go, right? So it's so the rise of state, the start to be has to be so talking about all this, it's just magical. It's really like opera. It's magical. This Earl Koenig is trying to kill this little boy. He's a motherfucker.
Oh, really?
Oh, the Earl King. The little boy he's right on the horse with his father in the stormy weather. Back in those days, children was getting consumption, was getting all these flus and all this other stuff. So to ride in that type of weather with a child was risky. And him saying, Father, is the king of death, or the prince of death. He's coming to get you if you see the Earl King. You don't want to see the Earl King. So that's what got me into opera. It was so dramatic. You had to change your voice when you're singing these different phrases in German. If you're the narrator, you're singing it with a different timbre versus when you're the child, which is you're singing from Der Zona, which is the child in English. It would be more of a light texture of singing. So that's what got me into opera. And after that, it just was up. Still is my default. I would say it's my default genre, but it don't mean I can't do anything else.
You feel comfortable.
It's just that's my default.
Yep. And that's going back to our talk on Queen. I think that's what because Freddie Mercury was he was I think he was an opera singer. Like that's how I imagine him. The changes in music and the tempo and the vocal range. Like to me, it's just mind blowing.
Stupendous.
Yes.
stupendous.
Yep. And that's, and opera is, it blows my mind when I hear it, because it's like, I couldn't tell you, maybe a few pieces I could tell you, but I don't know it enough to say, oh, this is this, this is this. But when I hear it,
Jeff, say something for me. Jeff, say something
oh,
for me.
you don't, you don't want that. I can't bring that. I can't bring that smoke tonight. You don't want that tonight.
I don't want that smoke. Oh, this is the content has to do with that. I don't want to get this smoke.
oh, oh, man, I'm trying to regain composure.
Listen, you ain't never interviewed nobody like that's what open Philly York is the one and only. You heard it first
Well,
with the greatest, Mr. Young. I appreciate him for giving me this platform, y'all. Y'all don't understand. Anyone who's listening, this is the real deal. So if y'all want to get interviewed and y'all don't want to feel like y'all being ambushed and shit,
this is it right here.
this is it right here. Get comfortable. Whatever you do, smoke your weed, do all that shit. I don't give a fuck what you do. He don't care either. Don't come on here with that riffraff.
That's right.
Be about what it is.
That's right. We're about keeping it real and having real conversation. Uh,
That's right.
I want to ask you, when is your next performance?
So my next performance, okay, so this is interesting. My next performance, oh, no, can I say this real quick?
You
Let me
can.
say this. I will be at, Mr. Philly York will be at the 50th anniversary of the hip hop. Okay, I will be at the Yankee Stadium on Friday, going live a little bit. So that's my next little thing I'm doing there. So I'm gonna go live, and it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be a good experience because I'm one of the biggest hip hop fans that anyone will ever meet. Okay, Run DMC, like I told you, Run DMC all hour, Toe Shit probably, but they're all gonna be there. So I'm representing them on live with that. Now I have a concert coming up in September, and then I'm releasing new music. I have stuff already on all the platforms. I have a song that I released 2 years ago called Miss Femininity, and it's probably one of the greatest songs you will ever hear. Okay, I don't, you know, I don't try to pump my horn up, but I do everything myself. Some people would say it's a disservice for me, but that one song, I was arrogant enough to produce it, to write everything, to create every aspect of it. I mean, there is nothing that is not mine in that music, and who will be paid for it to be released. So whether you like it or not, I don't give a fuck.
That's right. That you know what, and that's awesome because you did everything the way you wanted to do it. You
Yes.
did it your way. There was nobody else's way, and that right there is speaks volumes for who you are. That's a huge accomplishment, and I'm gonna my hat off to you, sir.
And I appreciate you, my king, because you are an inspiration to me. You make me want to try a lot more harder than what the fuck I've been doing. Because you are doing this thing, and I love your platform. It's very nice. It's very diverse. It is what the world needs, and I pray that this becomes something bigger than you can ever imagine. I hope, because you know what's going to happen. Your daughter going to have to, your daughter is going to have to come and help you out. You know they don't play.
What's funny is the first episode, my first episode I did with my first episode is with my oldest daughter on the for the podcast.
Wow!
Yeah,
Shout out to your oldest daughter.
yeah, Casey.
That's nice.
Yeah, she's a trip. So
You know, she gets you where you need to be got, and you that's your twin. That's what it is. She act like you.
it's well, she had a podcast in college. She did a true crime podcast. And she was like, she was crazy because she would like there was actually a group of them. They would go and like like look up these old cold cases, these murder cases, and do research on them. And they were trying to come up with evidence and stuff, and then it turned into a podcast where she would go on the college radio and talk about like all these cold case files. And she has an artistic, whether she can't, so she tried playing drums when she was younger, and she cannot keep a beat to save her life. She
But those people I love because then they're not attached to music. It's about the business.
Yes.
And let's just touch on this real quick because I don't want nobody in this scheme, to be honest. Your daughter will be very good to have on the show and talk about that other aspect of the realm. The people who just look at us as numbers, she would be great with that because she can help someone. She can say, no, 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 this is what it is, because she's not looking at it as a, sometimes we're too emotional.
Oh, absolutely. But that's
We are.
yes. Yeah, no, I and that's I love that about having that side, to be able to be emotional like that, be open to everything.
Right.
You know,
And I'm definitely that side because I know I couldn't stand it for people because I probably would beat somebody up if they didn't like my art.
yeah,
It's like I'm joking. Oh my God, you're gonna think I'm violent.
yeah. Um
No.
so real quick, we got a couple minutes left. Um I want to, so you have a you're going to be performing in September.
Yeah, in September.
Where are you going to be performing
I'm
it?
gonna be no, no. I'm gonna release some music in September. I
Okay.
have a performance in September. I'm still waiting to hear back from that person, so I won't. That's
Okay.
I shouldn't even said it.
That's okay. Well, when you're going to perform, just give me a heads up, because I want to pump you up, and and spread the word, because that's one thing I like doing is, everybody I connect with on here, if they're doing anything new, creating art, whether it's drawing, painting, singing, playing the piano, whatever, I'm gonna share it as much as I can and get as much interaction with other people maybe that wouldn't have listened to you, or you know come on, listen to the podcast with us on here. If I can try to connect to as many people as I possibly can, that's my goal with this whole thing.
And I appreciate that because I will not. What they say, I do not falter.
so
I definitely will not.
so right now, and when you have your new music, when do we expect the new music to come out? Sometime.
So new music is coming very soon. So what is this? Is this August? I would say before the end of August, you will hear something. I'll give you a taste right now, but I think I'll save that for another time.
Okay.
Unless you want to hear, unless you have time. Do you have time?
We have a few minutes left. If you want to share it, something.
Okay. So tell me, it might not. It might. Tell me if it translates. Can you hear that?
I can hear that.
Okay. All right. So it's this song.
Just a little something like that. Well, I tell you what, I'm looking forward to the entire piece, because that just took me back to the golden era of film.
I appreciate that coming from you.
Yeah, like that. That is. I'm looking forward to that, and I love that there's style, there's class, there's soul in that, and it's I think you've got something beautiful going on.
I appreciate that. And once again, y'all, if y'all ain't tuned into Tim Young yet, y'all fucking crazy.
That's right. You get,
Yes.
this is this is this platform, was conceived. You're talking about hip hop, and I always give this guy a shout out, Ricardo Grimm.
Yes, shout out to Ricardo Graham.
Yeah,
Shout out. Yes.
he's the one that inspired me to go through. Like I knew I was going to do the podcast, but he kind of like his music, and him and I started interacting and talking, and he gave me that extra push that I needed. He didn't know he did that to until I told him, but you never know how the universe is going to work, and you can never don't let your guard down. But I'll say that I said I never let my guard down now with the universe, because if you ask for something and you truly mean it and it's in your heart, you're gonna get it. You just better be ready for it. You got to be ready. Um,
Oh,
but
don't make me cry. All right, now, hold on. Now, we ain't going to that episode today.
you know,
You want something?
you know, we're gonna do this. We'll do this again. Well, you know what? Maybe after you release the new music, we'll have another conversation. Towards in the fall sometime.
Definitely. Oh, I look forward to that more than ever expected. Oh, once again, I appreciate you. Once again, there's been no one else done that. It's been extended this invitation. So I will always remember you for being the first to extend that invitation to me. Doesn't matter how big or how small I get. Either way, whether up or down, I will always remember you. And I appreciate you, my brother.
And
You
I
do not know.
and I appreciate you, and I appreciate our connection and our we bonded before we even did the podcast, through through text, and then through talk, each other and talking. And no, I enjoy it. I enjoy you, and I look forward to what you have coming up in the future. And I wish you all the best, all the success. And I hope you can stay healthy, stay safe, and stay positive.
I want you to have the last word, King. I will not say anything extra. You have the last word. You've been so generous.
All right.
Usually I like the last word.
All right. Well,
I
you got.
like that.
Is there anything else that you need to plug, or anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Shout out to my mama. Shout out to all my friends that's been consistent with me. If you haven't, you still have time because I've not been always great to everyone. Um, and everyone is here. Everyone is in the ether. Everyone is here. Do not be evil. Trust and believe, y'all. Goodness is better than evil. You can be firm. You can be all that. You can be dark. Darkness. I told my uncle, I said, we need darkness because chiaroscuro in Italian, we need dark and light. So be dark and light.
That's right.
It's just one or the other.
It's the balance, and that gives you balance. And you know what? On that note, I want to thank you for coming on. I want to thank you for having this talk. And I truly appreciate you. I appreciate what you're doing. And I look forward to doing this again.
Adio. That's what the Italians will say, my brother. Adio. Fratello.
Well, brother, have a great evening. I want to thank you. This is Chewy's Road to Enlightenment. And that's it. Thanks for joining us. Have a great evening, everyone. Good night.
Great evening. The greatest. The greatest. He's the greatest.
Appreciate you.